I've loved speaking with you, and I love knowing that there are other women who have the same message, that we're all, it's the reason I love this is because I feel like women standing up for themselves, taking their space and helping other women, we're starting this global chain
Yeah,
reaction. And I love that. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. It's like, despite everything, we are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
And women have the power to lift each other in a way that is unique and incredible.
Welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders by interviewing amazing guests to encourage us all to rise up. Enjoy. Welcome to the show. My name is Tula Doris. I am the host of the Goddess Show, voices of visionary women, empowering, inspiring female leaders. And I'm only saying this because I actually think it's relevant today. I'm the founder of Areti Goddess Events, and that is empowering women. So it's my company empowering women to achieve freedom, especially in their later years. And what I want to define to you today is my definition of goddess, which is our birthright. And that is a goddess is being all of who we are and are not unapologetically. And I'm really excited to have our guest on today and introduce you to Paige Walker. And Paige, I just want to say you've gained your stripes in theatre, aerials, dialect, and voice coaching, tango and voiceovers. And over the last 30 years, your focus became more refined and you've now put all your skills into your work as a voice presence and stagecraft master coach. And I've got to say, your slogan is absolutely amazing. I'm going to share it with all of you now. No more self-silencing. Take up space unapologetically. That's what I call being a goddess. So I also love that you're ferocious about the concept that tells us that we, women, have less to say. And how many of you can relate to this? We're all brought up to be the good girl, aren't we? So we women who are mothers, we women who are mothers who are over 40, as you say, Paige, we have so much to say and we are beginning to take our voices back. So with that, I want to say a huge hello to you, Paige. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tula. It's so good to be here and talk about all of these things. Like I said, I'm just fierce about it. I really am. It's so important to me that that we're heard, you know, and that we know that we can be.
And we give ourselves a permission to take space.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what motivated and inspired you to start this business? Share a little bit about your inspiring story, because I know it's going to be really inspiring to everyone.
Oh gosh. It's this the story about how this kind of all began for me is really, it has a few different drivers to it. Um, I've been coaching for so many years, so obviously my desire to help people use their voices through dialect work and voice work has been a massive factor through my work for many, many years, and as an aerial coach. So I love to help people. But then in 2017, I fell. I had a huge fall on my aerial apparatus getting ready for a gig, and I should have been crippled from that fall. And I found myself while I was healing from this, there was no question in my mind that I needed to be back in the air. No question at all. Like it was just, I was just singular in that. It was, like blinders on.
So you were fully focused, and I just want to ask you, how far down did you fall?
I fell 7 meters.
7 meters is quite a fall.
Quite a
And
fall. I broke my ankle into 20 pieces.
And although you broke your ankle, I mean, into 20 pieces, that's incredible. That would be so difficult to put back together. I mean, I imagine that many people would consider that the end, So the fact that you actually had blinders on to get back on the horse is amazing.
It was very interesting. My surgeon was really quite brutal with me. He was so beautiful with me, and he was just straight down the line. He's like, "Look, I have to be really frank with you because I think that you deserve it." He said, "I can't guarantee that you will ever be back in the air, but if you are, you have to give me the year." And I immediately, like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, "Nah, you can have 6 months."
I love it. Love it.
And 6 months and one day I was performing again.
Wow.
But I thought about it a lot, why that was so important for me, why I was so singularly focused to get back in the air. I mean, obviously, I'm a performer, so I live for it. But finding that space in aerials where I found my strength of my body, which was something that was a challenge for me through my life, having that relationship with my body and that love for it and everything it could do. Um, so there was a lot going on for me there. So much of who I felt I was wrapped up in being an aerialist. So I guess I found, there are a couple moments in my life that I found my grit. I found out who I am.
Mm.
You kind of you look at yourself from sort of an over there perspective and you're like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. But when it hits the fan, I think
Yeah.
who you truly are. And there are definitely, I can look back and find these very exact moments where I'm like, oh, I see. Okay. And
Aren't
that
those moments absolute magic?
they
So
are
would you
magic.
say that is why you're so passionate about what you do?
I think it's yeah, I do. I do. I hate the idea that people go through life just meh. There's not something that drives them and makes them feel joyous,
Mm.
dynamic, and they just love. That makes me so sad.
I know it's amazing when you on that, when you get into a lift or you're on public transport, everyone has this resigned look on their face, don't they?
You
A lot
do.
of people do. Yeah.
Yep. That's so funny you said that about the bus because I think I was working down at Sydney Theatre Company recently on a show, and so I was bussing it in. And
Mm.
every morning I was just looking at the people around me and they just looked numb and gray.
Yeah. It's like Groundhog Day in the
Yeah,
Matrix.
yeah, it was wild.
It's
But
crazy.
but then outside of that, I also found myself in an extremely toxic relationship for the last 13 years where I
That's
felt
a
my voice.
long time.
It was such a long time. And I didn't, there was, again, that, little part of you that sits deep inside you that's screaming going, what are you doing? And you're like,
Mm.
I know, but I can't, I don't know what's happening. I seem to have no control over myself right now. I don't know what's happening to me, but I just kept getting quieter and quieter. I felt like my voice was being taken from me. My opinions didn't matter anymore. My thoughts didn't matter. My creative voice didn't matter, none of those things. And so I just stopped talking and I just got more and more numb.
So can I just ask you, in those 13 years, at which point did you get to the point where you stopped talking?
Weird. It happened quite a few times because we would break up and get back together and break up and get back together. And then we got married.
Oh, you actually married him?
Oh, well,
Wow.
therapist would
Well
I
done.
don't think I ever went back to my therapist to admit after she was like, you need to like run. I was like, okay, I'll marry him.
That's one way to go, isn't it?
Oh, oh, yeah. But funnily enough, I think that the time that I can really remember was probably after we got married. It just got it just got worse and worse and worse. And then COVID happened and we lost the circus show that I'd been a part of for almost 10 years. So then I lost that identity. And then we all got shut in together and it was just such a brutal, bizarre experience.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you feel like you've lost your voice? It's almost like disappearing, isn't it?
It really is. And I am a speaker and I do live in my body and all of those things are so
Mm.
present for me and I just completely shut down.
I would actually really love to hear from our listeners, our viewers, whether they can relate to this sort of thing, because many of us women go through relationships like that at one stage or another, don't we? So congratulations, I assume you got out of that one.
I did. But I have to be honest, it wasn't that long ago.
Mm.
So, and my life has just done a complete flip in the last almost year. It was like the universe was literally waiting for me to get it together. And then it just started
Wow.
throwing things at me. Like, here, have this. This is amazing. Finally, girl, what is we're waiting for you to step up.
Isn't it amazing that when you're on the right track, everything falls into place. When you're on the wrong track, everything goes wrong.
Yep.
That's actually something that Deepak Chopra says as well. So, on that note, what were the first steps you took to get your business up and running? I assume it's after your marriage breakup, or
Yep. So this arm of my work um, happened after that. I was chatting with a good friend. Oh, actually, I went to this marketing, this business. Oh, okay. Dial back. So I had started work with Pilates instructors on vocal fitness and well-being. And I just couldn't seem to make that take off, which I didn't understand. I'm like, this is such a thing. How do you guys literally have to use your voices for your work? What happens if that doesn't work? So then ended up at this business marketing event and then chatted with a friend who's like, oh, if that sounds interesting, you should do this thing in Hobart. So I ended up going to Hobart to work with Andrew Griffiths and Keith Abrams on this just speakers business development week. And this is so outside of my realm of possibility.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm creative. I don't do business stuff like this.
I know.
And it was
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was just wild being there. And then that just again like opened the floodgates. And I started to talk about these things that were so important to me. And I didn't even know that that was a thing I would speak about. I just kind of went, this
Isn't
is what I
it
think.
fantastic? I call that magic. That's absolute magic, isn't it? So, okay, on that note, then tell us about your business.
So my business is really about helping women reclaim their voice through presence and stagecraft and reclaiming their authority. Um, it's like we said before, I think we make ourselves shrink, we make ourselves small, we make ourselves quiet and, palatable. And in doing so, we lose who we are and what we have to say.
Absolutely. Ladies, what do you think about that? I love that. In fact, that's what I do in another way, so it's fantastic. Tell me about your biggest challenges so far
My,
in establishing your business or.
yeah, I think my biggest challenges are because I'm a team of one. You know what I mean? My biggest challenge is how to physically and logistically do everything.
Mm.
I still perform. I still coach in all the places that I coach. I'm still a mom. Right now I'm working on MJ, so I'm in there coaching a lot. So it's like, how do I find the time to do
And
everything?
how do you do it?
Girl, look, I during the beginning of MJ when I was just in there so much, I had to really get comfortable with the idea that things were not going to happen as quickly as I would like them to. And I have to just be okay with that. I have to be accepting that I will get to it when I get to it. And hopefully it will be a little less of that strike while the iron's hot thing. Hopefully I'll still,
Yeah.
I have to say will still be valuable in however long it takes me to get more productive. I don't even like to say that because I feel like that just puts a lot of pressure on myself. But
I think what you're saying, I mean, the way that you put it, makes an assumption that you're not being productive. You are being productive. It sounds to me like you're putting things in order. And the
yeah,
thing about time that I've realized is that it comes down because I don't know about you, but two of the biggest objections I get from ladies is time and money.
yeah,
And funnily enough, when we need time and when we need money, we find it, don't we? It's all a matter of priority, really. So And the other thing is too, things happen in perfect time, don't because they've happened for you, haven't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was saying this is with MJ, I'm now getting to start to work with their Broadway cast. And I called my mom and I was like, I finally made it to Broadway, Mama. I was like, it took a hot minute, but I finally made it to Broadway. And I
You
said,
did it.
everything does happen. Everything that you ask for comes to you. You
Yeah.
know,
And sometimes it's not the way you think it will come to you, isn't it?
most times I think it's not the way. Before I fell,
Yeah, yeah.
before I fell was, oh my God, I need a break. I need a break. I just need a break.
And the universe gave you a break.
I got it.
It literally gave you a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. We really have to be careful about what we think and say, don't we?
I have never said that ever again. I was like, whoop,
It's so
got it.
true. It's so true. So tell me, how do you keep motivated through difficult times?
Um, I really touch base. If I kind of hit the wall a bit, I touch base with people who I consider mentors, my accountability buddies. I just touch base with people who can help me step outside my little bubble and go, you're doing great. You've got this, and also letting me know that where I am is perfectly fine and acceptable.
Yeah. It's good to have that confirmation, isn't it? That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So what are your favorite business? Oh no, I've missed a really important question here. What advice would you give to other aspiring female entrepreneurs?
I would say that go do it. Go be loud. Go find something that you love, that inspires you, and create a business around it. We can do anything now. We can create work around anything. So find that thing that drives you and build it and be loud. Be loud.
Fantastic. Be loud. I
Be
love that.
like that is my thing at the moment is no more apologizing.
Yeah. Unapologetic. That's what we're striving for. And that's it's our birthright, isn't it? To be all of who we are. Why should we apologize for it?
Absolutely.
What are your favorite business tools, resources, and why?
I really count on, again, coming back to that, mentor. I really count on people who know a lot more than me around all this stuff, to just help guide me when I have questions. Because again, I'm creatively minded.
Yeah.
I will look at information from these angles. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is
Yeah.
how a normal sort of business person would look at things. So I really need somebody who can help me wade through all of that information. And then I also really have uh, started to use writing tools a lot more because as a creative, I'm a mover and a voice person. I'm not a writer. So I
Mm.
need something that's going to help me take all my thoughts and put it in some sort of constructive order.
And what tool is that? Are you able to share
Using-
that?
Yeah, I'm literally using chat and all the things like that that will help me just kind of sort out how to put my thoughts into some sort of order.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. That's really valuable. And that's the thing too that I've realized as a solopreneur pretty much is that we need to focus on what we're good at and then be able to delegate and outsource things that we need help with. I think I learned that the hard way because I got to a point where I was doing too much and I burnt out. Um, can you relate to that,
Oh my
Paige?
gosh, so much. I do remember saying to somebody at one point when I began, I think when I was working on the voice toolbox stuff for the Pilates instructors, I was like, not only now do I need to be an expert at the thing that I do, but a branding expert, a
Yeah,
marketing,
exactly, exactly.
a business expert. I'm like, I'm not all those things. And in order to be all those things, then it would be what I've just learned becomes obsolete in 5 minutes time anyway. So it's kind of, so you're absolutely right. I think we do really need to be able to outsource. Do the thing that you're good at. Do the thing that you're
Yeah,
good at.
exactly. And that way it's more enjoyable too because we love what we do. We're passionate about it and it's our purpose. I mean, we can't be good at everything all the time. We can't.
Totally.
Possible.
100%.
So tell me, are you currently running any promos, contests, or giveaways?
Absolutely. I am offering three 30-minute sessions.
Wow.
Yep. I would love for anybody who just feels really like they are just stuck. I would love to just sit down with people and talk to them about how we can help them access who they really are at their core and what they have to say.
Okay, so with those sessions, thank you so much. That's incredible. So that's for our listeners and viewers, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Paige. That's so generous. I actually would just like to ask because would you say your sessions are physical or do they work with a voice? Can you tell us a little bit more about what ladies can expect from sessions with you?
Absolutely. It's the voice and the body are inherently linked.
Mm,
Can't have one without the other, really. And one tells you a lot about the other.
yeah,
So you won't have a proud presence and a quiet voice. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's very much about learning how to access your largeness through your body and your grounded space.
Yeah.
And from that, then we also access your projection, the your voice isn't just about the sound that comes out, but the sound is a huge factor. So many people hate their voices,
It's so true.
but then they hide it. They're embarrassed. So it's a lot about just finding that sound, but also if you don't love that sound, let's take that and put it over here and let's look at it. How can we reframe that for you?
Mm.
So it's kind of it's looking at your voice in a different way so that when you present it, when you put it forward, because our voice is our first true look into who we are. It's our thoughts, it's our ideas, it's our passions, it's our true self,
So deeply personal, right?
deeply personal. And I think that's why people feel so extremely vulnerable around it.
And self-conscious. That's why public speaking is one of the top fears for people.
It is over death, Seinfeld
Yeah,
says.
yeah. I know. I love Seinfeld.
But people would rather be in the casket than speaking at the funeral.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, well, moving on now. I'd really like you to share, if you don't mind, something that might come up for you that will inspire other women to rise up.
Ooh. Something that'll come up for, say more words. Something that will come up for me.
To inspire other women to rise up.
Rise up. I would say that no matter where you are in the world and what your cultural background is, you have value.
Mhm.
You are valuable. And that's really it. You have value.
That's absolutely priceless.
Mm.
It's so profound.
I think that this gets me emotional. Um, yeah, I think it really bothers me deeply how women are we're told that we're less than.
Yeah. So much so that we believe it.
Absolutely. It's incorrect.
I can't tell you how thankful I am to hear that because it's so profound and you know it has so much to do with our self-worth and our confidence. And it's important to communicate that message that everyone, all of us, have value. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paige. So tell me, how can we connect with you?
Okay. I'm on LinkedIn, Paige Walker, Dare to be Undeniable, because that's a
Oh, I
photo.
love that.
I know, right? I'm on Instagram, Paige Walker, Your American Voice. I can also be reached via WhatsApp. The first two are probably the easiest ways to touch base, and then I can reach out in any other way. that's
That's
necessary.
great. So, ladies, that means for you to take advantage of this really generous offer from Paige for your 3 sessions, get in touch with her on LinkedIn or Instagram. Your American Voice, Paige Walker, Your American Voice.
Your American voice.
I love Your American Voice, by the way. I tell you what, as an actor in my background, I often had to do accents, and for some reason, the American accent was always a little bit hard for me. I don't think I ever really nailed it. So I really enjoy hearing a great American accent.
Oh, lovely. I feel like you could. I feel like you could do it. If you ever need it, you call me. We'll work on
I
it.
will. You're the one I'll call. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Paige, is there anything else you would love to share with us today?
Oh my gosh. I just outside of everything we've talked about, I feel like that's really it. I've loved speaking with you, and I love knowing that there are other women who have the same message, that we're all, it's the reason I love this is because I feel like women standing up for themselves, taking their space and helping other women, we're starting this global chain
Yeah,
reaction. And I love that. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. It's like, despite everything, we are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
And women have the power to lift each other in a way that is unique and incredible.
And I think there's a lot of power when women come together. I want to ask you, have you heard of the G100 that came out of India?
No, what is that?
Okay. This is a movement bringing 35 million women together around the world.
Oh my gosh.
This is really funny because I've started my first company at the age of 52. What do I know? But I have been named the Australian Chair for Entrepreneurship.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Funny, but that's how I got involved. And everyone, it's absolutely free, and they hold conferences. But these women are affecting real change right now. Like, I mean, they're really getting in there and affecting real change for women around the world. So, if, by the way, ladies and Paige and everyone, you're all welcome to join us. It's absolutely free. So I'll put that out there because I do believe there's a lot of power in numbers and us getting together. You know, there's been a fallacy about women pulling each other down, but I think there's a really great wave of women who pull each other up. And that's absolutely amazing.
That sounds incredible. I would love to know more about that for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today, Paige. It's been really fun and really special. Thank you.
Really appreciate your time, Tula. It's just been beautiful.
We definitely have to keep talking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Bye for now.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Goddess Show podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you next time.